Cool.
Okay.
All right.
All right, cool. So, Eleanor Doughty, it's great to meet you. For for folks who might be watching this, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Cool. Yeah. Well, it's Eleanor Doughty,
Doughty.
which I guess you wouldn't know unless you heard it once, but there it is. I'm an illustrator and painter. I'm in my studio space in Seattle right now that I share with about 14 people, and I am here a lot. Well, I didn't really expect that murals and large-scale painting would be such a big part of my career at this point, but it kind of just happened, and the Vienna mural was a really big step in that direction. Actually, it was a really great opportunity that I got. It was an answer to a call for a request for proposals that the Vienna Arts Commission put out that a high school friend linked me to, or I never ever would have seen it, let alone applied to it.
Cool. I love that it's organic and it was like discovery. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like everything in my career is kind of organic, and I think there is some truth to like do what you love and the money will follow.
Sure.
It might not be like millions of dollars, but it's pretty awesome to be able to make a living as an artist and also have freedom to like be self-employed and have fun and be free, while also sometimes like staying up all night for a long time.
Right. Working on a project or meeting a deadline. Yeah. So talk to me about like, I'm a college student. I'm an art major, a visual arts major, or a graphic design major. Or I'm just the creative. I'm a dancer or whatever. I'm in the creative arts. And, we hear this a lot nowadays, like follow your passion.
Mm-hmm.
The money will follow. But practically speaking, like, what is your process, or do you have a process for the business side of what you do? Do you have a place that you go where you source potential clients, or is it just networking? Like, what does that really look like? Or is it just kind of just through relationships, and how does that work?
Well, of course it's different for everybody, and I know illustrators who have a more like really different approaches to this. Some people send out mailers to art directors. A lot of my projects have been like really just strange how the clients that end up like coming back and back and back. There's like that 80-20 rule where 80% of your income is 20% of your clients. It's really true. A lot of it has been networking and like putting my work out there on Etsy has been surprisingly good for pulling in people. Just because there's like that search engine, people see the illustration work. They ask me to like draw their house or something. I do craft markets and stuff locally, so that's been good for getting like smaller commissions that are just more fun. Also work, but also fun. Because my favorite thing is like sitting outside and drawing in plein air. That's my passion. So everything else that I can like funnel into that has been, I feel really fortunate that that's kind of like the work I'm doing to sustain myself and
plein air. What does that mean? Plein air, sorry.
Oh, it's like drawing from life outside. It's kind of traditionally you'd think of like an oil painter with an easel standing in a field in like the Netherlands or something. But for me, it's like sitting at a cafe outside or like sitting on the sidewalk a lot of the time. I'm part of the Urban Sketchers organization. which is a global network of people who like to draw from life out in the world. I've had some opportunities to travel based on my work that I've kind of linked to that. Like, I went to Amsterdam last year to teach, and this year I'm going to Australia to teach for events connected to that. So that's part of like making things that you love, and then definitely posting them on the internet and using hashtags is like huge.
Right.
But for my biggest clients right now, I got from just like submitting work to websites, kind of like online archives of work, like this site called Indie Walls, which it's supposed to be for connecting like hotels that need art to artists. Like, oh, I'm a hotel in Miami Beach and I need like a license for 30 pictures of palm trees. And then I'd be like, oh, I have that, I'll put that there. But I ended up, they are like linking me to bigger companies that need bigger projects that I do custom for them. Cool. So it's like, you never know what is going to lead to bigger accounts and stuff like that. I kind of just cast a wide net.
On the art side, how did you discover you're in this, I guess I'm making the assumption, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're in this niche of doing larger scale pieces. You already had an affinity towards plein air, like drawing real life and outdoors. Not that all murals are outdoors, but some are.
Yeah, true.
So there's a little bit of a connection there, but how did that kind of unfold for you?
So the mural specifically, I think I will give a lot of credit to my friend and frequent collaborator, Emily Herr, who was basically 50% of the Vienna mural. We went to school together at VCU in Richmond, and she's a full-time muralist. So when I was applying to that call for proposals for the Vienna project, we applied together in the sense that I did the design part and kind of brought everything together, and she promised to be like the logistical side of it. And we had done a couple small murals before and worked on school projects and that sort of thing, but I feel like bringing her in as someone who could be kind of like vouch for the technical aspects of it was really huge for me, kind of getting my foot in the door with these kind of projects. And then once you do one, you can be like, oh, I did this 3,000 foot mural. Right. Now I can do anything.
Right.
Yeah, we just finished a mural together in Florida, in north of Orlando, where we were for 3 weeks.
Okay.
That was pretty great.
While you're telling us about that, I'm gonna Google it and share it on screen. So
okay.
Tell us about that mural. I've never seen it before, so I'm Googling on the fly. Is it out there?
Yeah, I don't think it's online yet because it's like a under construction building, but she has some pictures on her Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not actually.
Let me know if you can find it. I can send you it later.
Let me see if this will work. Is it any one of these?
It's loading your screen right now.
Maybe that.
Oh, look at those things that I did. No.
Yeah.
I can send you a link real quick. Yeah, but there aren't really. She's only posted it on her Instagram right now.
Got it. But just so people know, like in looking at these, these are just this is kind of your style, and there's definitely a style there.
Some of those are mine.
Oh, well, not all of them. Yeah, I can almost tell. Like,
yeah.
But if I go to your page, which I I think I was just on a second ago. Oh, well, I can type it in edoughty.com. So if I, but murals aren't the only thing that you do. I mean, this is in the Starbucks, I think, right? So my wife saw.
Yeah, it's in a grocery store, and then there's a Starbucks in the grocery store.
Got it. So when this page loaded and I showed my wife, she said, "Oh wow, can we buy that?" And then I scrolled down, and she's like, "Oh, it's huge." I'm like, "Yeah, we don't have that kind of money, even if it were for sale, which it's not." But it is so huge, and
oh yeah, that was
just
interesting
beautiful.
because it's so small compared to the Vienna mural. Like this
Right.
one, which is like 120 square feet, and the Vienna mural is 3,500 or something square
Right.
feet. But it presents its own challenges because of like where you're supposed to see it from.
Right. The viewer's vantage point. Okay, we're gonna this is William.
Hey,
You love to
William.
oh, hold on. There you go. So you can hear her. Say hi.
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 Oh,
Can I see your drawing?
Oh, this is
Hold it up
writing
close.
and drawing. Did you draw
Whoa.
these birds?
Yeah, this is the.
Oh, here, let's hold it up closer. Whoops.
Ooh. Cool.
This is
It looks really loose.
This is dropping into the ground, and this is somebody.
Oh, I love it.
Cool. She painted that mural. You see that mural?
Oh, it's so big.
I know. It's so
What
big.
do you want to know about that? What questions do you have for her? Maybe how did she get up so high?
Yeah.
You want to know how she got up so high? Probably a ladder.
I don't even know how she made all of that. Oh, maybe people helped her do that.
People
People-
did help her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
Yeah.
We used a lift truck.
a lift
It
truck
was-
to get up there.
One time
Yeah.
I saw a lift truck.
You've seen a lift truck?
Mhm.
Yeah, they're
They're
pretty cool. That's awesome. But you thumbnailed it out, right? Hi.
Yeah.
I love this because this is totally informal, but and this is what I want it to be. But you thumbnailed it out, right? Because you have the
Mhm.
thumbnail online.
Yeah, we basically, it was pretty close to my original drawing that I submitted for the proposal. The only thing we really changed was just making it fit in the actual dimensions of the wall, which is kind of tricky, because it's higher on one side than the other. So I just did a little painting that I played with digitally for the proposal, and that's what I submitted. And I really didn't change very much of it between that and starting to paint on the wall, because when they're approving stuff, there's the whole process with the town of Vienna to approve design, and they really don't want you to mess with it after that point, because they don't want to go through all that more than they have to.
Right. Yeah, because there's definitely obvious choices that you made about what was going to be inset into the doorways. And
Yeah, that was hard.
yeah, but it's cool because in a sense it invites the viewer in, where you're standing back and the light play changes the art, whereas in a museum or in a room where the light, if there's not a window, could in general be static, right? And I'm sure these are all things that you think about when you're making your choices, but the light play and time of day and whether it's cloudy can determine what, you know, the mural and how it looks, and maybe there's a tree that's going to cast a shadow. I mean, does any of that influence like your decision making?
Not really. The thing about the doorways is that we just tried to avoid having like important things like the different buildings. We had to place them kind of organically on the wall. So in that sense, we weren't really going off of the plan because it just had to work like on the physical thing. The thing about like a tree casting a shadow on it we don't really think about that because there isn't really anything you can do about it, and it doesn't affect how you read the image. But stuff like the direction of the wall, like where the sun hits it, definitely affects you and your painting because it's like hot or freezing cold. We painted it in late November, so there were some really cold days. We had to stop because it was snowing once. Definitely looks really good in direct sunlight.
It does. The colors are fantastic. What inspired the color choices like the yellow and the blue? Like, was there something about Vienna specifically that inspired that, or no?
Not really. It was kind of, I just think yellow looks really good. So I use it a lot, like especially in the skies. I tend to not want to do like the sky is blue, so I have to paint it blue because that's how it looks. Like it doesn't really matter what it is in reality as long as it works in the image. And I think just having like a more limited color scheme, like that yellow and the blue, it kind of like makes it more unified and graphic, which is going to be more interesting and pleasing and iconic to people that have to look at it all the time.
Sure. Okay. What can we do to like get the word out there that hey, we've got like that mural wasn't just like it's from a professional artist, somebody who has artwork in Brooklyn, and I mean I'm putting that on my site, and I'm hopefully that word can get out to hopefully inspire more projects like this in Vienna or wherever, anywhere. Really not just about Vienna, but like a place like Seattle or Brooklyn, these places have tons. I assume Seattle does. I don't know if it does, but Brooklyn and have tons of public art. Like, how can we help be your advocate, I guess is my question.
Well, I definitely think highlighting it and collecting it, like what you're doing, is going to be good. Like if they realize there's an appetite for it in Vienna, there's definitely a lot of walls that could benefit from it. And I think it's pretty much always good for like the overall feeling of a town. Actually, I was just in Miami with Emily, and that place is so covered in murals. Like I didn't know that a place could be that covered in murals. Is amazing. And it's not like our project in Vienna was funded by the Rappaport company, which owns the shopping center and like tons of stuff, real estate stuff in the DMV area. So they had like a large budget to pay for everything, but I think like you don't have to have the backing of a large real estate company to just make something happen on your house, your business. I think, I don't know that much about this, but I know there's some like zoning aesthetic requirements in Vienna that has prevented other more vibrant painting endeavors. They've kind of blocked it. I'm thinking of that house. I think it's demolished now by the post office. They like painted it red a few years ago, and I was like, this house is awesome. This is so cool. And then they made them paint it over. Like, why? So I think it's like a mindset of people who are in charge. Like, what do we want the town to look like or be, and who do we want it to be like that for?
Right.
So I just like, the thing in Miami that was really inspiring is that a lot of it just looked like people kind of going out and doing something kind of small scale, kind of like get a couple of gallons of paint and do something simple on your building. But even something simple repeated across a lot of walls adds up to being something that's like really amazing.
Impactful. Yeah.
And make like it's alive. Well, I think the old stuff is usually nicer looking than the new stuff. Yeah, it's like a similar question of in a lot of cities, like you want to have something small and cute and local, but how can these businesses afford to pay the rent for it? Like I know Vienna is kind of blowing up with all the like, you know, Amazon, DC, everything like that. Like we know
Right.
the situation. It might just be like unrealistic, but I just want people to have an opportunity to be spontaneous and like create something that feels like it's from the soul of the community rather than something that's been vetted and like committed to death by people who don't live in Vienna, or they're like their motives are like, I don't know, maximizing profit.
Profits. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And if you want, well, the thing I think is actually very special about Vienna compared to many other towns and cities in Fairfax County and Nova sprawl outside is that we have a center of town that feels very historic. Like what it was like, you can tell I care about it a lot because that was the subject matter of the mural, is all the historic buildings along the historic former railroad, now bike trail, which I grew up riding on. And not a lot of other towns in that area have that feeling of history. Like this town was built around something that was very important, like that railroad track. And now we have really lovely green and park and caboose area. And that feels like really soulful. I don't really remember where I'm going with this. But we gotta protect that. We gotta keep that safe. And but as for the new stuff, yeah, I just think it has to. Yeah, I already said just like relax the zoning, let people be spontaneous.
Right.
Even if they do something that's not permanent and it's painted over in a couple of months or something, the news there. I don't know, like what is there really to lose in the grand scheme?
Like pop apart or something.
Even if it's like bad or ugly, according to some people, it's better than having like a blank beige wall because it's something that's to be created. And I think just the energy of creating something in the world is kind of it has like a ripple effect through the community.
Yeah.
That shows people something like that is possible.
Right. The community is alive, cares about what they see and what they do. Because like you had high school students, right, involved in your project from, did you go to Madison?
Yeah.
Cool. What was that like? Were they excited to, were they artists or was it all kinds of different kids that you were working with? Or?
Yeah, most of them were from Madison. We also had non-students, like young kids, non-Madison students, like young kids, parents that came with their kids, just people volunteering their mornings. Then we did have a few days of like bringing in a lot of volunteers from Madison. Some of them were like, I need 6 hours of community service because it's due next week, which is fine. That's great. Like, I've been there. We've been there. Some of them were from the art club, which I was in high school. I I kind of lost touch with what's really like, I don't know how the art program is at Madison now, but when I was there, all the teachers were just so supportive of me and gave me so much space to like be really ambitious with what I was doing. And I seriously wouldn't be here without them.
Cool. Any names?
Yeah.
Shout out?
Yeah. Ingrid April Levy. I don't know where she is now, but it changed my life. I still time. And Jeanette Boyle, she's still, I think, in Vienna.
Cool.
And yeah, those are the main ones.
Cool.
I really hope I'm not forgetting anyone. I'm sorry.
Well, if we can, maybe we can do some social media sleuthing and connect.
It's been like, oh man, it's been over 10 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can.
Yeah.
You know,
2009.
maybe they're out there in the social verse somewhere.
On Facebook.
And, something. Yeah. Maybe this could be the catalyst for a reunion or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be cool. Awesome. Anything else you want to talk about?
I want to thank the Vienna Arts Commission for making the project happen and organizing it, and just they did a lot for
That's
sure.
Awesome. They're almost one and the same. Something that's designed really well functions really well, almost by definition. And like, I don't know how that, and I'm pontificating here, and I don't have a direction, but like when I look at your mural and I look at it, you know, the function of the mural is, how do we make this a beautiful space? But how do we still, it's still a building, right? It's still the back of a building where, but there's parking back there. So for people who don't know, maybe people don't know, and they're watching this, right? The mural is on the back of a strip mall, but Vienna put parking in there because there wasn't going to be enough parking on the front of the strip mall for all these purveyors coming in, right? But then they looked at it and they said, all right, well, we've got this parking lot back here, and when they're walking, we don't want them to have to walk all the way around to the front of the strip mall. There are these entrances on the back, which would have been the exits where like you take the trash out. But the stores have these entrances on the back of the strip mall where people can enter. So then maybe somebody said, you know, it's really ugly just to, like, I'm a shop owner and I'm going, I don't want people to have to walk into the back of my store. It's an awful experience, right? So, let's paint something. Like, you're almost walking us down. I mean, it's this mural of, like, it's illustrative. It's not to scale or anything, but it's the WOD trail, and it's all the little historic points along it. And so maybe you're walking parallel to the wall, and you're almost walking through the trail as you walk alongside of it, you know. So I mean, it's just fantastic, and it serves that, what I was getting at with the function and design pieces, it serves both of those things. I just want to thank you for sharing your time. I'm sure you've got plenty of work to do, and I don't want to take you away from that. But really thank you for your time. And hopefully this can...
Oh yeah, I'm happy to do it. My hometown. It was an important project, like professionally and just like looking back to where I came from and like giving something back to that community that I spent the first 18 years of my life in. My parents still live there. I just want to say thanks, parents, for supporting, because
Awesome.
also wouldn't happen without that.
Cool. Well, speaking of parents,
Hey, William.
Eleanor says hi.
Hi.
All right, we're gonna say bye now, and she's gonna go back to painting and drawing.